Imagine with me for a moment that you were listening to the melody from just the white keys of a piano. Then imagine the same melody from just the black keys. And now imagine both keys playing together. All three carried the same melody, the same composition, the same instrument, but only one created harmony. This is what we do when we try to create something powerful using only parts of an instrument. This is what we're currently doing all across STEM. I know, because I spent the last 20 years watching us do just that. Globally, the data tells a consistent story. In early education, girls perform as well as boys or even better in science and mathematics. By university, women earn 35% of all STEM degrees. In the workforce, women occupy just about 28% of all STEM professions. And by senior leadership, women are less than 25%, and as few as 12% in some industries. Notice something. The drop-off is gradual. It is patterned. And it occurs across every stage, in every country, and in every system we examine. This is not a leaky pipeline. It is a structural filtering system. You see, a leak suggests something accidental. A filter, it suggests design. And women are not disappearing from STEM randomly. They are being sorted, slowed, redirected. Not by accident, but by architecture. Architecture will design. Architecture we can redesign. I've seen this firsthand. As a professor of microbiology, I study systems and how they function. And I have so brilliant, capable, determined women separate from academia because they lacked capacity, but because they were being measured differently, evaluated differently, and navigated systems that were never designed with them in mind. One of my most gifted students, brilliant, rigorous, she was highly dedicated to her research. She told me she was leaving the field. When I asked her why, she did not say, "I cannot do this." She said, "I am tired of proving that I can." And every time someone leaves, we use research that will never be conducted. We use solutions we will never see. We use innovations we will never even know that we missed. The loss is invisible, but it is real and immense. I hope global conversations continue to focus on how to get more girls interested in STEM, as if the problem begins with them, as though they need to be fixed. And so for decades, we're on programs, mentorships, initiatives, all directed towards encouraging girls to go into a system that we've never examined. Any surprise, not much has changed? Here's the fact. As someone who spent the last couple of weeks judging science fairs all across the city, I can tell you categorically, the girls are already interested. The stereotype that they are not is fueled by underrepresentation. Underrepresentation then fuels that stereotype, making it a self-fulfilling cycle. You know, when a flower does not bloom, we fix the environment in which it grows, not the flower itself. Why then, in this case, are we so focused on the girls and not the system? Let me walk you through what this looks like in daily life, not as statistics, but daily experience. Women all across industries and institutions are reporting the same thing. Being overlooked for stretched assignments and leadership opportunities. Being asked to prove competence repeatedly, long after credentials have been established. Having their ideas dismissed, only to have the same idea praised moments after when voiced by someone else. Being excluded from informal networks where key decisions are made. Receiving less sponsorship, less visibility, less credit, all the while navigating career structures that were designed after uninterrupted linear progression. That's with total disregard to caregiving realities. Individually, each moment might seem small. Collectively, they form gates. Gates determine who advances, and these gates are not neutral. The fact that women occupy less than a third of the global STEM workforce should concern us, because it means we are tackling life's most challenging issues like climate change, artificial intelligence, global pandemics, energy systems, exploration, and medicine without freely utilizing half of our available talent pool. The World Economic Forum projects that at the current pace of progress, catching up with gender gaps could take more than a century. A century. And then we act surprised at the outcomes. History shows us what happens when systems are designed around partial perspectives. For years, automotive safety testing relied on crash test dummies modeled after the average male body. And as a result, women are more likely to be injured in car crashes because the systems that were supposed to protect them were not designed after their physiology. Medical research historically used the male body as default, contributing to missed or delayed diagnosis for women, including heart disease, and higher rates of adverse reaction to drugs. These are not edged cases. They are designed consequences. Research shows us that diverse teams will produce more novel research and higher impact scientific work, not because of symbolic representation, but because diverse experiences will notice blind spots that homogeneous groups were not. This is not simply a fairness issue. It is a design issue, an innovation issue, an economic issue. Global economic analysis estimates that at the current rate with gender gaps in participation and leadership, it is costing the global economy trillions in unrealized productivity. The cost of underutilized talent is not just theoretical. It is measurable. You see, questions are powerful because they shape what we notice, they shape what we measure, and they shape what we try to fix. The quality of the questions we ask determine the solutions we build. And for far too long, our questions have started from a wrong space. Because every time the question assumes that the problem lies with the women, the solutions will always be incomplete. Here's the shift we need. We must go from fixing women to auditing systems. Let's move from counter representation to questioning design. And stop asking, how do we get women in? And start asking, what have we built that keeps them out? So perhaps the real question here is not, how do we get more women into STEM? Because the cost of their absence is not just economic. It is human. Every time a girl decides that science is not for her, we may use a researcher who could change lives. Every time a woman leaves, we lose innovation we will never see. Every time systems are designed without diverse perspectives, we create a world that works less effectively for everybody. This is not about charity. It is not about being nice. This is actually about building a world that actually works. Let's go back to the piano. The black keys alone can produce a melody. The white keys alone can produce a melody. But harmony requires both. And when black keys are played intentionally, equitably, structurally supported, the sound is fuller, it is richer, and it is so much more powerful. And right now, we're slightly off key. We've tried to solve the world's most complex problems while structurally limiting who gets to contribute at the highest levels. And then we call the outcome inevitable. It is not inevitable. So what do? We stop asking the girls to change. We start examining what we have built. If you are a parent, watch the messages you send. Not just in what you say, but in what you reward, what you celebrate, and what you discourage without realizing it. If you are a teacher, reward curiosity, not just compliance. Celebrate the student who is trying to understand how things work. If you are a leader, look around your table. If everyone thinks alike, you are not getting the best ideas. You're getting the most comfortable ones. If you are a man in STEM, I invite you to use your access. Use your voice. Be the one who holds the door open, not just walk through it. And if you are a woman in STEM, you belong there. Not because anyone is doing you a favor, but because the field guides you on what you bring, your questions, your perspectives, your refusal to accept that that's just the way it's always been done. Because innovation that would change the world will not come from rooms where everyone thinks alike. It will come from spaces where people are willing to ask better questions. So let us stop asking the wrong one. And let us start asking, what kind of world do we lose if we do not play the full instrument?